In this video we're going to focus on the 3D Virtual Showroom, and I'm on the catalog page and I'm going to go straight into a 360 showroom to show you the application, and then I'm going to explain how the various elements that you have when you purchase this application. So first of all, one thing I like to do is go full screen in this application and also hide the controls. So now I've got a full screen view, so your audience, your customers, and an entire audience that you want to reach can consume this interactive application via the web. So it's cloud-based, needs no plugins, and it works on mobile just as quickly in full screen on your mobile, just like I've shown here. So with this tool, it's intuitive. People immediately know they're directed to click on these hotspots. So it's quite obvious that if I want to go back to the lobby, I can go in there. If I want to go into this particular area, I can click on that. I'm just going to click on the steelwork, and now I'm inside this area. And this is one of our internal showrooms, so we can model any buildings and provide you with any kind of interior. And many of our showroom examples we're going to show you are actually exterior environments. So here, interestingly, we've got steelwork products that are typically used outdoors, but we've got them laid out in an indoor showroom kind of experience. So this is, as you can see, 360 tours, and I'm just going to turn back on the controls, reduce the full screen. I'm going to close this, and you can see what happens when you close out of a tour. Your visitor is taken back to the catalog page. So when you post these on social media, which is very simple, all you have to do is take that URL there and you post that on social media as a link, and when the user clicks on it, they're taken straight into this application here, and from there, again, I'm going to hide the controls. In this particular outdoor example, you can see it's a very enjoyable outdoor scene, and in this scene it's focusing on this two options here. I'm just going to click on this other hotspot here, and we can toggle between, we've got two different structures, and notice the resolution here. It's extremely high resolution, and if you can access these on the website yourself directly, so you can experience these. Again, you can toggle between structures, and you can zoom right in there, and you can see the level of detail that is inside this tour. So just going to share with you another one more tour, and then you can go to the website yourself anyway, and you can look at any of the tours that are there. So just going to again repeat that process. So a visitor could have clicked on a social media link, come to this page, and then when they hit close, they come to the catalog page. You can have this very same catalog page built on your own website, and here, for example, is an interesting case with showing transparency. So we can make visible a lot of different aspects. So for example, in this one here, we're just going to turn off the controls again. When I toggle, you're going to see that the ground is now filling back in. So that's quite a an interactive experience. When we go to the 360 or the 360 here, the hotspot that's at the top, you can see that the shroud is off now, but I can turn the shroud back on, and you can see as I zoom out, now we can see the structure with the shroud on. So this provides an very interactive and very enjoyable experience. And within these tours, in the same way that we have these hotspots, we can also have icons with information. We could have an information icon, for example, about this cabinet or about the pole. We can also, you can have an icon for a video player, so we can run video directly from within these scenes. That's the power of these 360s. They're so intuitive and self-contained application. So just going to again just load one more so you can see the just to get a wide variety here. This one here actually is the stamp tool. So in other videos you might learn about the stamp tool, which is an amazing piece of automation in 3D building. And what we have here, again, I'm going to maximize the screen. I'm going to turn off the controls, and when I click this toggle button, right now you can see there's no sight, and now when I toggle this you're going to see the 3D build emerges in front of you right there. And this is all, again, done on HTML, so you don't need any plugins. So just going to take a view over in this location here. So here, for example, perfect for somebody wanting to evaluate, do photo montage. So you can see, we're just going to turn off the structure. You can see it just disappearing here. And now as we turn it back on, you can see it there. So and here's another view right above the tower. So again, and you can zoom in and you can see the level of detail in the model. You can see the connections, and this is quite a unique level of detail. And this entire build has been done with a single click using the stamp tool. So that's the tour for now. In the next video, or in the next segment, I'm going to look at the core application. So what we're seeing here right now is this is where you can publish out of the core application these wonderful tours. And what you're going to see is that suppliers who will create a whole series of tours and publish those on social media, because the click-through stats on social media are exceptionally high. People really enjoy these and the feedback is incredible. So we'll talk a little bit later about the potential use cases, but firstly I just want to focus on how you can build out scenes in this core application. So here you can see we can add in branding literally inside the scene. So this is the Ambiflow logo in a couple of different variations, and we can place this in the scene at any scale. So as you can see on this hilltop here, it's obviously very large because it's so far away, and we've also got many other props in the scene. We've got here vehicles, we've got people we can put in the scene. There's a guy climbing the tower here, so we can see that. So we can place these actors in the scenes, and you can also do things like, so you recognize some of these from some of the tours on the platform. So as you can see, this is rendering real time, and there are other things here we can do. For example, for this particular structure here, we want to showcase the ICNIRP. What we can do is turn on ICNIRP, and here you can see we've just turned on the ICNIRP, and we've got a coach in the scene. So we can see a powerful presentation of equipment and scenery and functionality. So that's the core application. We can add, you've got access to the library of components. You can add further scenes in here, further props in here, and you can move those around and you can publish those out to the audience. So it gives you a wonderful array, so both in-person kind of live scenarios, and of course you can share the application with customers as well. So within your audience there will be a small percentage of people who will be who would have interest in having the actual application. Again, you can see the branding, so we can add your logo into the scene, place it wherever we want, and then publish these tours from here. So it's a very powerful application with multi-purpose. So now we're going to have a look at three things. Firstly, the benefits of the 3D show, and we're going to summarize those. Then we're going to speak about how it works, and we're going to finish with some images, a selection of images from one of our 3D component libraries. I'm showing you those because these are all components that you can access in your application, in your core application. You can use those components. So the benefits, firstly, what we call experiential exposure. So having your customer engaging with your components in this format for longer in a more enjoyable, user-friendly way yields a customer who's far more familiar. They feel more familiar and more confident about your products. So the second is that you get to create engaging content. So these 360 tours are very engaging, and the click-through rates are a multiple of what you would expect on other formats. So it's a unique format, and throughout other industries who use the 360 tour format, they also enjoy very high view count. You also get, building on that, you get to create a content stream, and this is something we recommend. So even if you don't think you've got enough interesting story to tell, it is very easy to come up with a content stream. And what that means really is that each week you've got a different tour that you publish, and each one of these could be exactly the same product, just in different scenes, different environments, with some emphasis, different emphasis each week. And you can easily create something that feels fresh to the customer, and yet you're just getting that same product if you, in front of your customer repeatedly. So if you have multiple products, that's great. You can focus on different products, different weeks, and you launch those products and create a product focus, and you can keep replenishing that over time. So this gives you a new way, a unique way to create content stream. And content creation is hugely challenging, especially if your products are not particularly exciting. If they're functional products, this is a great way to put functional products, what some people call boring products, and they're not very appealing. And those products, they really benefit from having an interesting environment. So in terms of a sales tool, where you're selling your product to people in person, or as we're seeing with COVID, increasingly, it's going to be remote for quite some time. So the ability to wow your customers across the internet with the 3D tool, the core application, it's an exceptional experience, and it really comes across the screen very well. So you can also distribute the core application. So within your audience, there will be a small percentage, but a very, very significant percentage of your audience who will value the 3D. That small percentage could well be those people who are actually going to buy your product. They're the ones with the most need to understand your products. So you can distribute the core application. So once we build the application for you, you can distribute it. Then you just have a link, and we give you all of that process. It's very easy to do. So finally, through all of this, you're building your brand. You're wowing your customers with what is in fact a low-cost application, but it looks very expensive. You're getting fresh content every week, and after a few weeks you will have your audience waiting for your content. They'll be expecting, and they'll form that habit, and they will enjoy your content. So how does it work? Well, it's a very straightforward process, and we help you all the way through this. So if there's any of this that you don't understand, because this is quite a unique product, so you're quite likely thinking, well, I've only got one or two products, they're not very interesting. So if that's the case, this is perfect for you, and we can walk you through this, and we can show you how you can create interesting content that gives you a stream over time. So firstly, we have to create 3D models from your components. So we've done this we've never yet been unable to create components from the information that all suppliers have. So you're likely to have CAD drawings or PDFs. You may even have 3D CAD drawings, CAD models, and if you do, that's great. We can create your components from that. We need to understand your components. If your components have any moving parts or articulation, doors opening, whatever it might be, we can mimic that, and we always like to model to match reality. So if something does something in reality, we want to make sure it does exactly the same thing in 3D. So from there, then we can provide your core application, and in that we'll build out whatever 3D scenes that you choose to have, and then from there your team can create scenarios around those products, showcasing your product or products, and we can do this for you. So every step of this we can do for you as well. So finally, now that you've got your core application, now you're ready to publish. So you can publish tours, and you can publish the application itself. So we would then recommend that we plan out from the outset. We would recommend planning out the entire campaign, and we would help you greatly in that. We can lead that for you, and so that you're working towards, in a matter of a few weeks, having your application built and tours created, a backlog of tours, and you can have those published on a catalog page like you saw earlier in the video. And you can have then each week you just share one of the links on your social media or through your newsletters or wherever else you distribute content. You can, of course, in your product data sheets, you can embed a link in those PDFs to the individual tours. So you can make this far more enjoyable experience, so that somebody could be looking at a PDF on their phone and can click on the link and can be in a full 3D on their phone. It could be in a on-site situation. So there's many different applications here. There's kind of like installation guides, and you can make very easy, user-friendly user guides using this format. So finally, just before we wrap up, I just want to show you a selection of images that are from one of the 3D component libraries. So here you can see quite a range of structures, quite a range of equipment. So, and all of these have been modeled from PDFs, CAD drawings, photographs, interaction with suppliers, and like I mentioned before, we've not yet failed to model a component. So there's, you can see many of these structures have a hell of a lot of information, a lot of detail, and you can see that detail carries through. And we have a very simple approach, which is to model to match reality, and it makes life easy for us when we do that. So these are our contact details. There's a full playlist of videos. You can see the link there, and it's got all of the in that playlist you'll see a full menu of videos, and you can get in touch. My name is Ray Henry. You can get in touch via email if you want to discuss further. Thank you.